Hello everyone. We are going to start the session shortly. So please send the YouTube link to all of your friends. The session is going to be a great experience for everyone. So please spread the YouTube link as much as possible. We will begin shortly. We will also have an exciting quiz round at the end of the session. So guys, wait till the end. So let's now begin. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anjali Priya, Joint Treasurer of IETE Students Forum, BIT Sindri.
And I am Juhi Sinha, alumni in charge of IET Students Forum, PIT Sindri. Very happy Navratri to all. With the positive vibes of divine power, we welcome you all to the first day of our webinar series, HACKLANE.
You all might have seen science fiction movies where hackers just type a bunch of gibberish on some weird black and white code editor and they break into a firewall or security system into the world. Well, it's not that easy. There have been a lot of misconceptions about hacking in general. Our community needs to know more about this awesome branch of computer science, not only to stay updated, but also to pursue a possible career in it.
Ethical hacking is one of the most demanding skills of this era for sure. Ethical hacking is a process of detecting vulnerabilities in an application, system, or organization's infrastructure that an attacker can use to exploit an individual or organization. Ethical hackers use their knowledge to secure and improve the technology of organizations.
This webinar series, HACKLANE, will last for 3 days, dating from Friday, 8th October to Sunday, 10th October 2021. The topics for the webinar will be Day 1, Cybersecurity Career in India, Day 2, Security Intelligence, and Day 3, SQL Injections.
The viewers are requested to post their doubt and queries in the YouTube chat box. After the session gets over, we'll try our best to put your question before our speakers. So guys, stay tuned till the end as we will have a quiz round which will intensify your brain cells.
So, to know more and enhance our knowledge to another level, we would like to welcome our first speaker, the speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Vanshit Malhotra, cybersecurity researcher and InfoSec trainer. He has been an investigator of industrial espionage, insider threats, and numerous cyber crimes. Hi, sir. Will you please take over?
Hey, sorry, I was talking on mute. Hey, hi everyone. Nice to meet all of you. Thank you for the introduction. I hope my audio and video is visible to everyone. Uh, I'll also start sharing my screen and start with the presentation quite in time. Uh, so, cool. Are we good to start or should we wait for everyone to join?
So we can start now, I
Sir,
think.
I think we can start.
Awesome. So today's talk is going to focus on building your cybersecurity career in India. What are the scopes? What are the skills required to build this? And not last, the salary expectations you should have for this. Before we start, a quick bit about me. I am a full-time cybersecurity consultant. I consult organizations, research and train organizations on building their teams. Formerly, I've worked with Government of India, UIDI, as well as Airtel, which is one of the largest telecom provider in India. I have been a web mobile network pen tester. I'm working currently into pen testing, which is majorly looking at the flaws and the bugs in a particular uh, app or web application. I also do a lot of hardware hacking using red teaming enthusiasm. We build a lot of red team gadgets for this purpose. And in the past, I've also been into malware analysis as well as detecting spam for various organizations. I've been a speaker at a lot of international conferences. If you want, you can follow me on my social media. At the end of the talk, I'll also put the social media links in the chat box. So, also, if you're looking out for free training and free tutorials on cybersecurity, ethical hacking, you can follow us on Facebook. We keep on posting a lot of zero-day bugs and a lot of vulnerabilities for everyone to look at and learn from them. We also do a lot of free YouTube trainings for different colleges, organizations. So do follow us and subscribe on YouTube in case you're looking out for such trainings. You can also join our Telegram channel. We try to keep all the hacking news updated on this channel. So feel free to join us. Our Telegram handle is Hacked agenda for today. So today's talk is, something very close to my heart because being out of engineering, I also had a passion for cybersecurity, and I also, wanted to look at cybersecurity and hacking. Uh, so just wanted to understand, uh, is the screen visible for everyone?
Yes, sir, it's visible for everyone.
I think it's not visible on the YouTube, guys. Probably you'll have to put that on the stream.
Okay. No, it's
Uh,
visible. It's visible there.
no, I'm actually seeing YouTube on my phone, so it's not on YouTube. It's just me on the camera.
Okay. If you want to share the screen, you can share it uh,
I've shared it.
using that.
You,
Yeah.
being the host, you have to put it on the stream. You have to put my screen share on the stream.
Yes, we are doing that.
Uh, I think,
Uh, I guess it's visible now.
yeah, looks like it's visible now. Yeah, I think the slides are more visible now. Sorry, guys, I did not realize that the screen was not visible on the stream. So this was the intro slide I was just talking about. This is what I have been doing so far. I've been into various roles into cybersecurity. This is our Facebook page. If you're looking out to follow us on Facebook, uh, our Telegram handle is Hacked India. So please do subscribe if you're looking out to stay updated on the cybersecurity news. Agenda for today. So the agenda for today is quite close to my heart. Like I was saying, straight out of engineering and having a passion for cybersecurity. So this was year 2012. Um, there was not a lot of guidance that I could get, and there were not a lot of online tutorials like we have now on YouTube and on various platforms such as Cybrary, and a lot of other platforms such as Pentester Academy, and those platforms were not there. There was just this one platform, Security Tube, which was the only source of getting some hacking information. Interestingly, that was one of the a few places where I got a lot of ideas. So now Security Tube has turned into Pentester Academy, where you can also subscribe for on-demand courses, do a hands-on lab. But now the arena has quite changed. You have bug bounty. You are able to do a lot of cybersecurity hands-on in terms of bug hunting, finding flaws into existing websites. So that's how we're going to start this talk. Then I'm going to talk about how you can go ahead and build your career in cybersecurity in India. And then we are also going to talk about how to stay cyber safe, because staying cyber safe at the same time is also very important for you when you are into cybersecurity and practicing hacking for that matter. In case of any questions, please go ahead and post them on the chat. I will just try to answer them as and when I can. So, why cybersecurity? So this is a question, that a lot of people might ask. Okay, what's so good about cybersecurity that people are looking out to join cybersecurity industry? Why it's one of the highest paying industries? Why is Facebook paying, 30 lakh rupees, or how many US dollars in terms of to a security researcher in terms of bounty for just finding a flaw in their website? And why is security such a big issue? So, as an ethical hacker, you are expected to probe for vulnerabilities and exploits, and look for security flaws in your web as well as network. Now, when we talk about vulnerabilities and exploits, so these are basically the loopholes that one might see in a web application or a network. I'm sorry. So, as an ethical hacker, you're expected to find out, what loopholes might exist in a particular infra or in a web application or network for that matter. The right way to do is to run a fuzzer or a scanner against your target, but that too has a lot of limitations. Make sure you only probe for vulnerabilities and exploit against a target where you have an authority to do it. You have a written confirmation to do it. Bug bounty is a good way to do it, but you should always read terms and conditions before you go ahead and target a bug in a website. Uh, Otherwise, there could be legal proceedings against you. In India, especially with the IET law becoming more and more powerful every day, make sure you don't try to probe for any vulnerabilities or run any scanners or fuzzers against a target where you're not authorized to do it. The reason why I'm saying that, because the laws are very strict, and even if you're doing it for an ethical purpose without having a written confirmation from the third party where you're trying to find these bugs, you can face a legal action. And for that, you should definitely go ahead and read the IET law of India. I'll not cover that. It's a bit out of scope of our discussion today, but yeah, that's a good disclaimer that everyone should get. Uh, then apart from ethical hackers, so people generally think ethical hacking is basically about probing for vulnerabilities, but this can also lead you into cryptography. Now, I know a lot of people in engineering colleges and doing their masters in mathematics who are actually full-time cybersecurity consultants because they love maths and they also like to analyze different cryptographic algorithms. For people who don't know what cryptography is, it's basically a way to hide a plain text into a secret message and transport it with full integrity and without getting modified. Uh, People are always working with the government in order to analyze any traffic or any communication that the terrorists or cyber terrorists or anti-nationals are sending, and just trying to understand what that information is. And for that, they need to understand the cryptography algorithm and then go ahead and break it. So, in a nutshell, as a cybersecurity professional, you don't just need to understand security. You also need to understand how things are built in order to break it. So, building things is also one of the aspects that you need to understand if you want to be a long-term, highly paid cybersecurity professional. So, if you're good at development, please go ahead and pursue it. Because if you're a good developer, you might understand the code at a very root level, from the very grassroots level, and that might give you an edge over other pen testers to look for any bugs in that particular scenario, in that particular application. So knowing how you can build things is very good for people who are trying to actually break it. So as a cybersecurity professional, you will actually be looking at breaking these structures that are built in the in an infrastructure or in a web application. Cool. That being said, uh, your primary job is going to be to protect the infrastructure against the real world threats. Uh, I don't know how many people have heard about it, but in 2021, we have seen a lot of data breaches. We have seen a breach with uh, Domino's, where all the data was available on the dark web. We have seen a breach with Big Basket, where all the customer phone numbers, their credit card info, and everything was available on the dark web to be purchased. So we have seen a lot of data breaches, and because of this, we would actually say that your real-time job is going to be uh, to protect the infrastructure against the real-world threats. So cybersecurity is for you if you enjoy breaking the code and crashing the working codes, if you can think out of the box, if you enjoy computers and system internals, if you have a good knowledge of operating systems, then probably you can look at different aspects of networks and trying to break those operating system codes, create exploits to break into Windows or Mac or Linux system. And also, if you're interested to know how really the stuff works, like I always said in the previous slide, uh, you need to know how the stuff works in order to break it. So before, even in the real world, when we are doing pen testing and we are working on this, uh, we always try to learn how the stuff really works at a very internal level, so that we understand how to go ahead and break it, what the loopholes might be. So think of this scenario uh, as as a structure that you're trying to build, and until you know how it is built, of what material it is built, it's probably very difficult for you to logically go ahead and break it. So think of the cybersecurity one of those ways of communicating with the cyber world. Now, this is a question I get a lot. Okay, so what kind of education background do I need? What kind of courses do I need to do? And the plain simple answer is that there is no benchmarking or there is no restriction in cybersecurity from what background you come. People from any field are working in cybersecurity these days, given the breadth of cybersecurity for now. Uh, Networking, understanding of networking, system administration, and programming is a must if you're looking out for a long-term cybersecurity career. Although it's not like you have to be a graduate or a 12th pass person to get into cybersecurity, because there is no way in which you will be taught of this skill set in a school or in a college until you are actually going for a specific course in cybersecurity. Uh, you can definitely learn networking, system administration, and programming in your colleges, in your schools, but then you also have to be a self learner and that prober in yourself to understand cybersecurity better. Uh, if you say that you know good networking, system administration, and programming, then cloud and mobile applications are an upcoming boom. For certifications, you can go for A plus, security plus, CCNA, and all. So I saw a message on the chat for a free course. So I'll be sharing a lot of free courses, professional free courses that are available online, from which you can learn. All you need is a mobile phone with a good data connection or a laptop with a good data connection, and you can go ahead and learn these courses. The site's name is Cybrary, but I'll also put that as a part of my slide. So just wait for a bit, and I'll share the free course websites with you. Where do you start? Start with operating system internals, understand how the kernel level libraries and APIs are communicating with the hardware, how the basic interaction between the firmware and hardware happens if you're looking for IoT hacking. Uh, if you're looking for creating exploits, look at how the complete operating system API architecture is, and what kind of libraries and processes are running in the operating system, and how are they communicating. A good example of that is an LSAS process, which is basically a process which has a plain text password of your Windows, but requires the system level privileges to get that password out, right? So probably in this scenario, you're looking out for an exploit which can actually try to gain a system level privilege and then use LSAS process to get the password out of it. Start with networking. There are a lot of open ports out there, guys. Trust me when I say that. Ports are basically the mediums to connect to a particular computer on internet or on a network. If you have a good understanding of how the networking happens, how the TCP and IP communication happens, how the packet looks like, what are the bits that are set and unset for a particular type of packet, you can probably try to create your own fuzzers and try to scan a network, or probably use the existing scanners, use Wireshark for traffic analysis. So there are a lot of tools available. Awesome. Programming. So uh, I would suggest, and it's a completely your own choice. You would need programming in cybersecurity for two major things. Uh, One of those is automation. In cybersecurity, we are always creating scripts to automate our day-to-day tasks. There are a lot of repetitive tasks that we can automate in cybersecurity. I personally use Python for web and mobile automation. For operating system automation, I prefer to use Bash scripting. So those are the two scripting languages that I work on, Python and Bash. But I know people who work on Perl, which is basically practical extraction and reporting language. It's a beautiful language, but a little tough than Python. Python is a very loosely typed language. It's a very easy to learn and understand, and there are a lot of open source libraries available for it. So probably all your code is going to be, something that is already written. All you need to do is put a logic into it. Just import that library in Python, and your work is done. So Bash and Python are two languages which I use. Bash for operating system and Python for my other automation. For programming, the only two languages which I can say I know to create a code in is assembly and C. These are the only two languages which I understand and also can create a code in. But it's a good idea to know PHP, .NET as well. I can understand the code, but if you'll ask me to create a PHP website or a .NET website, I probably might not be able to do it. But for you, it's a good idea to learn that coding because it can help you in various fields. Also, you'll understand the code better. Another language which is also very important if you're looking out for doing red teaming and looking for web application related bugs or API related bugs is JavaScript. JavaScript is a client side language which basically runs in your browser. So your browser is basically the interpreter for JavaScript, or the compiler for JavaScript for that matter. So yeah, so those are a few languages. So I see that someone, Vikas, has written about OSCP. So OSCP is an excellent certification, Vikas, but you need to be very good with penetration testing before you go ahead and attempt it. I'll probably try to take this question in the last of the session. Just bear with me. Let me continue with the slide. Also, remember that you don't need to create a threshold that you won't be able to cross, right? So let's say that I've set the bar wherein you're going to learn networking, you're going to learn OS internals, and then there's scripting, programming, and all. So this is not the threshold you need to reach to enter cybersecurity. You can learn as you go. Okay, remember that you don't need to come very prepared into the battlefield. Okay, even though this is a battlefield, but this is a battlefield where you don't need to come all prepared. There are a lot of things that I have learned during my career while working on projects. All you need to do is to be motivated and remember that you are in this job for the thrill. You are in this job to build a career, and for that you need to keep learning with time. Every day you might learn something new with cybersecurity, and that's for sure. That I can promise to you, that every day will be a new challenge, a new game for you. Also remember, don't get carried away with the thrill of hacking. Always remember what is the scope of your testing. If the scope of your testing is limited to certain aspects, please make sure you don't cross that bounds. Uh, I can show you, you can go to Facebook white hat page or any bug bounty page. You can understand the scope and then start hunting. A few good examples of bug hunting websites is Bugcrowd, HackerOne, for that matter. Learn to code, like I said, Python and Shell is what I love. So Bash is always useful. I think Bash is the only language which I'll say that every cybersecurity consultant or every administrator should know, because Bash is the core, the heart of any Linux system. As a cybersecurity consultant, I've seen people working on Windows, but most of us love Linux, and that's why Bash is always the love. Python makes you the master of automation. Perl is the king of data stacks, but it's again a bit difficult. I have, thought to leave Perl aside for now, but yeah. But if I do pick up, the Perl is going to be the next language that I would like to pick up. If you would like to go for web-related languages, then JavaScript, Java will help you. Java is particularly helpful to you because all the Android applications are built on Java, as well as a lot of websites with core security features are also built with Java. PHP.NET are the obvious other contenders of this. Cool. So that's about how you can probably start and learn to code. Okay, so now let's come to some practice setup. Like, how would you want to set your system? How would you want to have a lab setup? So this is not an image of my room for obvious reasons, but this is how we have seen it in the movies, how the room of a hacker looks like. So someone talked about offensive security. So yes, OSCP is one of the nicest certifications you can get yourself on. But prior to that, make sure that you learn what Kali Linux is. On the top left hand side, you can see the name Kali by offensive security. So Kali Linux is a Linux distribution for security professionals. Probably most of you might have heard about it. It's a very popular distribution among hackers, and we all use it for this purpose. Uh, just to give you an overview, so this was created by the creators of offensive security. This is named after the Hindu goddess of destruction, which is Kali Ma, and we are also in Navratri. So this looks like a very joining the dots kind of a thing. But Kali Linux is something that you should definitely get on. The benefit of using Kali Linux is that you have all the tools and all the scripts pre-built into this operating system. So you don't have to go ahead and do an app get installed for every tool you need, like you would have to do in Ubuntu. But if you're using Kali Linux, you have all the tools ready to go. Some of the tools that I would recommend you exploring is when you open Kali Linux, you will see the top 10 security tools. Those are the tools where you can start. Nmap is an excellent tool if you're looking out for network scanning. Wireshark, if you're looking for a packet level analysis of the traffic flowing through the network or between you and the web server. Burpsuit is uh, another bundle of tools that you can use for web pen testing and mobile pen testing, but a bit out of scope of how we use these tools. But yeah, we can have a separate session for that. Before you go for OSCP, my recommendation would be go ahead and do some practice. Now, offensive security also provides practice labs, but that's a paid lab. If you're not looking out for spending that amount of money, Hack the Box is an excellent platform to do offensive security like VMs. Okay, so so basically, in offensive security exam, OSCP exam, you have 5 boxes which you have to get a root on. Okay, Hack the Box is a platform which has a lot such boxes available. All you need to do is install a virtual machine or a virtual box, uh, put Kali Linux on it, install the Hack the Box open VPN profile, and start hacking these boxes that are available. These boxes are available in the beginner, then expert levels and the medium levels. You can start at any level which you see fit for you. You can try to hack into that box and get a root of it. So that's a very good start for you if you're looking out for OSCP preparation. Uh, do use a virtual box. Don't use your base operating system directly for installing OpenVPN profile for Hack the Box, because on Hack the Box there are all the hackers are there. And if you use your own base machine, then everybody would start running scans on your machine. and you never know what they might find, and you might get hacked. So always use a virtual box with Kali Linux whenever you are using Hack the Box. That's the best practice. But then I leave you as the best judge for it. Certifications, entry level, go with CEH. It's a very basic and entry level certification. The course covers all the basic concepts of security, cyber security, mobile hacking, web hacking, and all. So that's a very good entry level certification that you can go away with. LPT is licensed pen tester, which is basically the next level for CEH. Then there's ECSA. So these are all the certifications by EC Council. They're globally recognized and should not be very tough for anyone to crack if they have a sufficient experience into the field. Uh, ParrotOS is also good, guys. I just saw your chat. Tell you about the brute force attack. I'll cover this in a bit, Avinav. I'll cover this in a bit, the brute force attack. But for ParrotOS, yes, you can go ahead and use ParrotOS. It's also a very good operating system. I personally prefer to use Kali Linux. The only reason for that is it has an excellent support, and the whole community uses it. So if anything breaks and any specific tool or a script is not working, then all I have to look is at Stack Exchange or Kali Linux forums, and my script will somehow work with a tweak if I get stuck. But if that's not the case with you, go ahead and use ParrotOS. ParrotOS is also an excellent. It has a much better visual appearance, if you ask me, as compared to Kali. But I think Kali is also doing a pretty good job with the visual now. So yeah. Uh, OSCP, we have already discussed this. If you're not looking out going on a very technical side of cybersecurity, but you're only looking at the controls you can implement in an organization or the controls you can implement in a system to harden the network or the end user or a server, then probably you can try to go with CISA, CISM, and CISSP certifications. These are not people who don't want to do technical stuff but want to stay in cybersecurity. Those people generally prefer for this. This is the more compliant side, but it's not like that. I myself, I am trying to prepare for my CISA exam, though I am going to remain on the technical side, but it's a good certification to have because as my role grows, I might also need to look at the compliance side of the things. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. So don't think that people who are not technical only do CISA. Technical people also do, but there are a lot of people, a lot of chunk of people who want to contribute to cybersecurity, but at the same time, they don't enjoy working on a Linux host. They don't enjoy working stuck to a box for 8 hours a day. Those people have an option to stay in cybersecurity and do certification like CISA, CISM, and CISSP. Not a lot of technical stuff, but then again, you can always go to their website and take the right guidance. These are my own views, my personal views, so you don't need to follow them by heart. But it's my job in this seminar to introduce you to all the best certifications to the best of my knowledge. And now there are a lot more certifications that you can do. There's AWS Security Specialty, there's Azure certifications if you're looking for cloud level certifications, which you can do, which also have a nice pay grade in the industry. But then it's up to you to decide. What I'm presenting in these slides is just my personal opinion. So don't follow it by heart, do your own research. I might tell you that a particular certification is not good, although I'm not doing that. But then it's up to you to see that if it's good for you or not. Don't go by my advice. You have to try to test things out for yourself. Nobody is going to live your own life. You have to live your own life. Nobody else is going to pay your bills. Nobody else is going to contribute into your life. So make sure you take the right decision. Don't go by just the advices that people give you. Just try to understand what they're trying to say, because something might not fit into their cadre, but would be very suitable for you. Okay, given the kind of interest you have, the kind of passions you have. So make sure you don't follow this particular slide as your career path. Make sure you look at all the internet research you can do on what cybersecurity certifications you look at, and then take a very good decision on what you want to proceed with. Job in cybersec space, you can become a network security engineer, a cybersecurity analyst, a security architect, or forensic analyst. No, forensic is something which is not my forte, and I've not included into this slide. But I think forensics is another beautiful field which you can explore. Cyber forensics is expanding like anything. There are a lot of projects with Government of India, with the big force that you can work on if you're working in cyber forensics. It's an exciting field. It's just that it's not my forte. So I have not included that in this session, but definitely go ahead and do your own research on cyber forensics as well. As a network engineer, it will be a critical position in the organization. You have to ensure that the entire security system is implemented in the organization and it's not a threat to the organization. You'll need to do a lot of automation. The minimum salary, to the best of the internet research I could do, was 4 lakhs and go up to 8 lakhs per annum as a starter, as for a fresher in network security engineer. And the source is simply learn. But these are just internet researches, guys. There's no hard line on this. You can get a lot more or a lot less as well when you join this job. Cybersecurity analyst, this is somewhere where I began. Look at the complete 360-degree picture, look at the defense in depth, and what are the security lapses and loopholes present in an infrastructure, as well as that could include your customer-facing assets, your mobile applications, web applications, as well as your network. So it's more like a 360-degree approach. Yeah. A security architect is one of the interesting roles that I have been into. Your job is going to be to create the topology of the networks in a very secure way, create the whole security architecture, make sure that the company systems are not vulnerable to of attacks, perform a proper risk mitigation, risk transfer at the same time if you see any security loopholes present in this particular infrastructure. Also, you'll also have to work with a lot with the programming team to build the final infrastructure. Right now, on cloud, we generally prefer to build infrastructure as code. So we create a code, and when we run this particular code in AWS, it's called cloud formation. So when we run this code, the complete infrastructure is set up. Now, again, it's up to you. Security architect average pay is about 17 lakhs per annum, but and it's a very highly paid job. If you ask me, of all the cybersecurity jobs, security architects are the most valuable people in the organization. So the packages are. But then again, this is from an internet research. Please don't blame me if you get a lesser package or something. So these are all the jobs in cybersec space, and for that, Cybrary has created a lot of courses. You can see the URL on the bottom of my slide. It's called cybrary.it. It's a website. There are a lot of free courses. There are paid courses as well. But as a beginner, you can start with a free course. And probably when you start enjoying and learning concepts and you want to go into deeper knowledge, you can also go ahead with paid course. So these are one of the things that you need to understand. There are a lot of resources out there available, and all you need to do is a good internet research. This was not the scenario, guys, in when I started in 2012. Now the scenario is very different. You have bug bounties happening all the time. You have a lot of platforms like Hack the Box, and try hack me to learn on OSCP certifications. So probably this is something that you should definitely try out, cybrary.it. This is something which I recommend to everyone who is new into this field. They can learn from this site. All you have to do is create an account, and you'll find a plethora of free courses in here. Uh, cool. So cybersec space, how do you get help? So in case you are from engineering, that's not a restriction, but it's a preference if you're from a computer science field. Even if you are from mechanical, that does not stop you to getting into cybersecurity. So that being said, but computer science is definitely going to give you an edge over the others who are not from a computer science background. So keep that in mind, and that's a very practical truth. I mean, I'm not saying that people from a medical background or mathematical background cannot come into cybersecurity. They're most welcome, and probably they'll also do very good here. But obviously, a person who is from a computer science background is going to have a little edge than them. So that's the practical truth about it. Uh, so just try to go into some infosec related stuff. Try to get good certifications. If you don't want to spend too much, or if you don't have the budget for it, being students, and if you don't want to invest so much into certifications for now, try to get a job. I have seen that organizations are always reimbursing it when you join an organization. You can go for a CEH certification, and they will reimburse it for you. Even if they don't, it's a win-win, because then you're getting your salaries and you can save up some money and you don't have to go to your parents. And that's the way I would like it to be for myself. Uh, don't go to your parents now. We all are engineering graduates and we are all big enough. Especially in these tough times, we should always try to build the skill first and then go for the certification. Certification can get your resume shortlisted probably, but it's going to be you who's going to clear the interview, not the certificate. So I might I might have a look at your resume, and I might say, okay, this person is CEH certified, he is OSCP certified, but that is not going to stop me from asking you questions. And if you cannot answer my questions, your certification is not good. And that would be true for any interview. So don't blindly trust on certifications. Build your skill set, get that niche built into your skills, and then go for the certification. I have seen people going for all kinds of certification in cybersecurity space, but still without a job. I've seen that. So don't waste your money in certifications until you are very confident you want to go ahead with it. Build your skills. Uh, then, if you think you have the budget for it, go for a certification. Absolutely helps you if you clear this exam. But then again, that's not the only way. I might select a person who is not OSCP certified, but still has good knowledge, over a person who is OSCP certified, but does not have that bit of knowledge. So please keep that in mind. Cool. Coming to the next slide. Always know the job that you are doing, and this is for people not even in cybersecurity. Just remember that you know the job. Uh, what kind of responsibilities would be on you when you join this particular job? You have to understand that these jobs are going to be a big part of your life. They're going to fill 8 hours of every day of your life, right? So be very picky and choosy with what job you want and what kind of a career you want, because spending 8 hours on something which I don't like is not something I would want to do. You have to make sure that you enjoy and love the kind of work you are doing, and that's the only way that is going to give you a very long career and a very successful career. Your heart has to be in your work. So make sure before entering cybersecurity or any other field for that matter, you understand what your role is and what responsibilities you will be fulfilling. The first thing that you need to do is in cybersecurity space is to manage the appliance of the cloud service. You'll need to work with firewalls, intrusion prevention systems, network intrusion prevention systems for that matter. Uh, Remember to know what these systems are. Do a good research into this. Make sure that you understand, these systems are required for logging in centrally, and you have to configure them if you go into a specific role. And that's how your cybersecurity career is going to take a bit. In the interest of time, I'll bring you to a more sensible slide. Yeah. So let's come to this part, which is my favorite part. So the mantra for my success in cybersecurity is only curiosity, interest, and passion. That's what made me succeed in cybersecurity, and that's what is going to make you succeed in your own careers. Now, this mantra might be different, but remember that you are curious every day when you go to work. Make sure you are interested every day going to work, and you have a passion in the work you're trying to do. For me, I was lucky enough in my college, I realized that cybersecurity is my passion, and I have followed it till now. Even though the initial years were very rough, but somehow I tried to get on the right road. So make sure you have curiosity, passion, and commitment towards your work. Interview advice. I don't know how the placements are happening these days. I would definitely like to hear something about it. But for the placements, I would definitely give you the advice that don't try to get interviewed. Top candidates have conversations, they are never interviewed, Okay, so try to have a conversation with the interviewer, try to understand the mindset of your interviewer. And this is not just for cybersecurity, guys. This is for anyone who is trying to prepare for any job. So make sure you understand the mindset of your interviewer, trying to have a conversation with him. Okay, just have a conversation. Don't just answer a question that you are asked on. Try to tell them a story. uh, as I have seen that people who can tell a good story have a good chance, but the story has to make sense into the kind of question they're asking. It does not mean that you tell them any story. But yeah, uh, be a good storyteller in your interview. Tell them about what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. Be very open about it. There's no need to be diplomatic with your interviewer. Interviewers can find out a diplomatic answer like this: what you know and what you don't. But try to be very open on what you know and what you don't. Uh, a good willpower and a good curiosity level in an interview can make you go a long way, because at least from freshers, we expect the right attitude to learn while you work on the projects. We understand that no college can teach you what the real world work is going to be, uh, and what we are going to make you work on. But if you have the right attitude to learn while you work, you can go a long way. Bug bounties is another way to earn money while you learn, but make sure you read all the program scope and guidelines properly before you do it. Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Twitter, all are in bug bounty right now. If you're looking out for platforms and not singular programs, you can go for Bugcrowd and HackerOne. We have a lot of tutorials on our channel, which is Hacked India in YouTube. So you can see the basically tutorials. There are a lot of free videos on web pen testing as well, how to get started with web pen testing, setting up your own pen testing lab in your laptop. So we have a lot of tutorials on that. The channel name is Hacked India. I will just put the link in the chat window in some time. So just try to connect with us. Stay cyber safe. That's a quick advice for all of you. There are a lot of cyber attacks happening with India's conflicts with China and with Pakistan now. I don't know how many of you have heard it, but Pakistan has ISI has also started targeting our army personnel for that purpose. So make sure you stay cyber safe. And a quick tip for that is, and this is probably something that you can also share with your family members. uh, don't open unsolicited attachments on WhatsApp, on email, or anywhere. If you don't understand who the person is sending you this particular attachment, please don't open it. This goes especially for my for the people who are very curious and very active on the social media. So make sure you don't open any unsolicited attachments. Don't click on the links that you do not trust, that have not come from a trusted source. Always make sure you cover your webcam on your laptop, because we have seen instances where hackers can activate your webcam even without turning the webcam light on, and you might be recorded. Same goes for the phone as well. So be very safe. Make sure you have a proper cam cover for that purpose. Also, never share your sensitive or banking information with anyone over calls, SMS, or WhatsApp. The reason for that is even your date of birth is a very sensitive information. That's one of the questions I need to answer to reset your banking password or your Facebook password. So your date of birth is also a very personal information. It's a sensitive information. Please don't share it with anyone. Your PAN card number is also sensitive information. Your Aadhaar card is also sensitive information. I know that not a lot of people might be going to OYO rooms or hotels now, but never give your Aadhaar cards like that. Always use a separate ID method, such as a driving license or a voter ID for that purpose. I know PAN cards are not accepted, but there are driving licenses that you can give, and there are voter IDs. But your Aadhaar card is again your data. It's a PII, or personally identifiable information. I can identify an individual with his Aadhaar card. So remember, never share these sensitive information over calls, SMS, and WhatsApp. Also, never cyber stalk. There are laws that are available that can protect the victims of cyber stalking. If people don't know what cyber stalking is, so if you are visiting a profile, downloading images of a certain person on your phone, it all comes under cyber stalking. We have very strict laws in India now. We have worked very hard to get these laws implemented. So make sure cyber stalking is something you definitely avoid. uh, Always use MFA or two-factor authentication. People who don't know what two-factor or MFA is, it's basically having a second level of authentication along with your password. So an example of that is an OTP. SMS of an OTP. Or the other example for this is going to be uh, a Google Authenticator app, for that matter. Always use a strong password, but actually passwords are way old. Always use a passphrase. If you don't know what a passphrase is a couple of words that make no grammatical sense. So instead of using a password, use a passphrase, because the longer your password is, the safer it is. Even if you have a lot of uppercase, lowercase, and special character combinations, that is simply not something that really affects the speed of cracking your password. The only thing that is effective in cracking your password is the length of the password, and that's why we are saying instead of a password, use a passphrase. It can be a sentence that does not make literal sense. You can go online and check examples of passphrases. Please don't use those passphrases that you see on Google. Create your own passphrase, because if you use that passphrase that you see on Google, that will be the first thing that I will crack. Okay, so please make sure you have the right passphrase selected for you. Do a good research. Okay, don't just copy that passphrase. Ki, Acha, Google Pay, I see this particular passphrase, so I'm going to put this in my passphrase. A hacker also can see that passphrase on Google, and he can use the same in the dictionary which he's trying to brute force your password. So please be very careful while selecting your passwords and passphrases. Please use two-factor authentication to keep yourself safe, especially for the financial and social media transactions. Social media has become a very integral part of our life, so make sure you have an MFA enabled on your social media as well. Also, as a closing note for this slide, I would say that don't keep this knowledge limited to yourself. Please transfer this knowledge to your parents, because they also might be using WhatsApp, net banking, and all. Just tell your mom, your mama and papa, ki boss, if it's a message that says you have won a lottery, or you have some income tax return coming your way, if it's an email, don't trust it until they get it scanned through at least you, and you can also understand whether it's a spam or a non-trusted email or the right email. So be very careful about it. Transfer this knowledge to your brothers, sisters, girlfriends, boyfriends, parents, and relatives. Don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Let's build a cyber safe India. We are already in the age of digital India, but let's also build a cyber safe digital India, because a digital India will definitely collapse if we are not cyber safe. We have to ensure that we are also cyber safe at the same time when we are transiting into the age of digital era. Cool. This brings me to the end of the slide. Being a great fan of the piracy and Jack Sparrow, that's my favorite quote. Why join the Navy if you want to be a pirate? If you're good at coding, we welcome you to cybersecurity to hack applications. If you're good at networking, we invite you to cybersecurity to hack into networks. So remember, you can always join the Navy, but there's always a pirate life waiting for you in cybersecurity. That brings me to the closing of the seminar. If you have any questions, I can take them up now. So I think I see a question from Vedahi, which is, let's suppose we are pursuing MS in cybersecurity, and on the other hand, one has left done a large number of courses on it. Whose impact will be greater on the job profile? Again, Vedahi, MS in cybersecurity can land you on the interview table, but it's not going to guarantee a job. A job guarantee might come from your own knowledge. Okay. Uh, if you say that you have an MS in cybersecurity and there's a person who has a lot of cybersecurity certifications, I don't think there's any preference criteria here. When we generally look at a candidate profile, we look at the all over profile, how the candidate has presented themselves in their resume. I would personally ask my HR to get both people on the interview rather than just one. But being an MS in cybersecurity and being highly certified in cybersecurity, I don't think that's any criteria to be worried about. So please don't worry about that part. Any other questions? What is footprinting? So footprinting is also referred to as reconnaissance. It's the way in which we try to identify what operating system our target is using, what are the different open ports available there, what the whole architecture looks like, what are the user groups available, if any. So yeah, it's basically reconnaissance or information gathering, where we try to understand, what kind of a target we have. So it's basically collecting all the information on your target. That being said, I'll unshare my screen. Cool. Any questions apart from this? Okay, so we have a few questions here also. So I'm now at the stream deck. Give me a minute. Uh, Guys, can you give me 1 minute? Let me just quickly have a glass of water. My throat is paining.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Sure,
sir.
sir.
Uh, Hey guys, I'm back. Cool. So where do we start? How is Pareto is for hacking? It's great. I think I've answered all the questions related to SCP exam. Any recommended books? There are a lot of books available, but depends upon what field of hacking you want to start with. You can start with online courses rather than going ahead and purchasing the books. Uh, Hack the box or try hack me. It's completely your own preference. There's no better or bad. Completely up to you. I am personally on hack the box, but yeah, if you want to know that, but that's only because I've not created an account on try hack me. If you want, you can go ahead and use try hack me as well. Uh, cool. I think I've answered all the questions, guys. Uh, Anything else that we have pending, guys?
Yes, sir. I think all the questions are answered now.
Yes, sir.
Awesome,
Yes,
awesome,
sir.
awesome. If you give me a
Uh,
minute, I will quickly share the social media links that I was just talking about with everyone too.
Sir, we also have a quiz session, quiz round
Ah,
right
yeah,
now.
cool. Can you please start that? I think someone sent me, but I could not get a look at it. Can you please take that quiz for the people or project it on the screen? I'll
No,
just narrate it.
Sir, soon we
uh,
will take the quiz.
Okay.
Anjali, I think we can now start.
we shall continue. Yeah. Uh, So now I would like to thank our speaker, Vanshit sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing your experiences, for helping us know the jobs in cybersecurity space and sharing your vast knowledge and expertise on the topic of cybersecurity. Thank you, sir, for taking time off from your busy schedule and sharing your knowledge with us. Over to Julie.
Thank you, sir, again. Hope our audience has got their satisfactory answer. Now, let's move to our next section of our webinar series. We are going to conduct a quiz which will definitely add worth to your knowledge.
So, guys, we are going to start the quiz round shortly.
Okay, so has everyone logged into our quiz session? We request all of you to go through the link in the chat box. Um, Sorry, guys, I guess we couldn't share the link, but you could join using the code, and we'll share the code in the banner. Do join using this code. Ask your friends and batchmates to join soon. We'll be starting the session shortly. Join as soon as possible. We'll be starting it soon, and obviously, it's going to be enthralling for all of us as it's end. So, to join quickly. Okay, so is there anyone to come? We'll be waiting for 1 minute more, and after that, we'll be starting the session, the quiz round. I guess we should continue now with this much of participation. Okay, so here's our first question on your screen. When the Information and Technology Act was passed in India, your options are 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2003. Remember, answer quickly and precisely. You have 6 seconds left, and the time is up. So we have three people with 2000. That is the correct option. So let's have a look on the leaderboard. So we have leaderboard here. This is anonymous hacker with 852 points leading the board. Then Sebastian, Aniket, and rest is these three people who answered correctly are on the leaderboard. So, okay, let's try. We have rest 4 questions. Obviously, do that correctly. So, moving to next question. Our next question on your screen it is: in Wi-Fi security, which of the protocol is most used? WPA, WPA2, WPS, or WEP? So, what will be the answer, guys? Do mark the correct option. And the time is up. We have 7 going with WPA2, which is obviously the right answer. So let's see what are the disturbances in the leaderboard. Okay, so it's okay. It has changed drastically. Okay, so we have still anonymous hacker leading the board with a 1830 points. Then Sebastian, okay, and we have Abhishek Kumar Shukla with third position. Then Rahul Mahato, Vikas, Man, Vishal, Aniket. So I guess Aniket got his question wrong. Okay, so guys, try. We have 3 more questions left. Let's move to the third question. The third question is: the term TCP/IP stands for. Okay, so you have your option. Do see the option correctly. Maybe it could be confusing for you all. Watch out first. And the time is up. Okay. Let's see the results. Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. The right answer, and we have 7 participants agreeing to it, and four of them choose Transmission Contribution Protocol, Internet Protocol. Okay, so let's see the leaderboard now. Um, okay, so we have still anonymous hacker on top and Sebastian. I guess these two guys have fixed their positions. Then we have Vikas. Vikas on third, Man on second, Aniket on fifth, Man on fourth. Okay, cool. So this is the board, and guys try to answer quickly. Okay. Next, we'll move to fourth question. In any organization, company, or firm, the policies of information securities come under CIA triad, confidentiality, authenticity, or none of the above. Okay, so you have 8 seconds remaining. Fourth question. Okay, the time is up. Let's have okay. So okay, we have three agreeing to CIA triad, which is right answer, and three to confidentiality, one to authenticity. Okay, so let's have a look on the leaderboard. Okay, so anonymous hacker got this right as well, and he's leading with 3,730 points. Too good. And then we have Sebastian with 2,155 points. Then Vikas, Man, Rahul, Aniket, Sandeep, Abhishek, Vishal, and Saksh. Okay. Okay, so next we have the final question. Obviously, the deciding question and the last one. So, guys, try to answer it correctly. Be precise to your answer. So, we'll have this question on our screen. And the question is, this attack can be deployed by infusing a malicious code in a website's comment section. What is this attack referred to? So, cross-site request forgery, SQL injection, HTML injection, or cross-site scripting. So, guys, last question. You have to got this right. Time is up. Okay, so we have five agreeing to cross-site scripting. That is the right answer. Okay, so let's have our winner now. Okay, so I guess so we have our winner, anonymous hacker with 4,704 points. So great session, and he got all his answers correct, all five answers correct. So it was really great. So here we come to the end of this quiz session, and let's let's quickly buckle up with the end.
So, thank you everyone for participating in the quiz. It was really very exciting to see you all actively participating in the quiz round. The winner
Thank
is requested to the winner is requested to share his mail in the chat box. The winner, we have something for the winner. So, winner, please share your mail in the chat box. Anonymous hacker. I would also like to thank everyone present here. You all have been a great audience.
thank you, everyone. Hope our audience has got their satisfactory answer. I'm very sure that today's session would be very satisfying for all our viewers. Please do fill the feedback form before you leave the session. Link for the same has been shared in the chat box.
Yeah, everyone is requested to fill the feedback form. It is shared in the chat box. So that's all from our side. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.